Hi there, a very good afternoon and good evening to all of you, depending on wherever you're watching me. This simply talks with another video, and this time this video relates to the agri theme. So, some of the agri stocks that I like in this season of agri from March through to say June until the monsoon kicks in. There are some stocks that could give you reasonable returns over this period. So, I brought 4 or 5 stocks from that space. So, let's get started. First of all, disclaimer that this is not a stock recommendation. People taking any position to any share that I talk about should that with their own due diligence and research, and I'm not in favor or against any company that I talk about. I'm not a member of the NSE and BSE, and that I am not an official portfolio advisor. Whatever investment decision that you take, kindly do consult your financial advisor. And also, whatever investment decision into these market linked entities, they are all laden with market risk. Before I begin with these 5 companies, here's a small request to kindly support me on Patreon. Once you do that, help me grow the channel, help you also ask me questions, seek out answers in greater detail. Once you get that $10 membership, you'll have access to my portfolio, my watch list, and number of podcasts I put out from time to time. And also, if you can pay $100 upfront, you get 1 year access by paying for say 10 or 11 months. That's a 20% discount. Plus, you'll have a discussion on global economy, world economy, Indian economy, economic data, etc., and how the global markets are faring. Plus, all your answers, all your queries will be answered. Now, in order to discuss about these 5 companies, let me take you to the screener website. So, these are the 5 companies basically: Escorts, Kubota, KSB Pumps, Shakti Pumps, Swaraj Engines, and Relis India. I believe these 5 agri themes, you can pick one of them. All could do well if the monsoon ends up being reasonably fine, and the monsoon predictions or that assessments would start kicking in. It has already done, but would start kicking in from mid-April or so. And so we need to position ourselves just before that. So these stocks are not oversold, not like a UPL or a Bharat Rasayan which has been sold into, and that's why I brought these up. So let's go one by one with them. So first is Escorts Kubota. The numbers are decent, although the sales numbers for the last couple of months have not been that great. So wait for the sales numbers again in Escorts, say by the 1st of April, and then take a call. If the numbers are fine in terms of sales on a monthly basis, then yes, this looks interesting. So if you look at the stock has declined from the highs. So the stock was trading at around 3400 in October last year, and then there has been a seminal decline in the stock from those levels all the way to the 200 DMA at 2800. So it has come down reasonably from the top, but with a good reason. That is that their sales have been not that great in the December quarter. And if you look at the numbers, 2340 crores of sales versus 2230, so hardly any growth up there in the top line. But the bottom line improved with 13% margin, so 185 crores of net profit became 314 crores as margins improved drastically, and eventually bottom line also improved. So what has happened is that its PE has gone down sharply from what it was in October. It was around 50 times, now trading at around 31 times, which is very reasonable. On a 5 year basis, the average PE is 28. On a 3 year basis, the PE is around 33, which is it is just under that. And that's why I brought this up. Although sales numbers have not been that great, but the stock is coming at reasonable valuations. And I believe that over the next 4 or 5 months, as that monsoon season kicks in and agri theme kicks in, this stock does well. In terms of balance sheet, very strong balance sheet, debt free kind of company. In terms of ratios, you have cash conversion cycle at around 50 days, which has increased a bit over the last year or so. In terms of shareholding pattern, 67% is with the promoter, 67-68%. FIIs hold around 5%, DIIs hold around 10%. So it's reasonable. It has increased. DII holding and FII holding has dipped a bit, but DII holding has also increased. Public shareholding is around 15%, and in that 15%, mostly are with retail investors. So Yes, not the best of the agri theme stocks, but if you look at it technically, that is, but if you look at valuations, Escorts does look good. Second in this list is KSP Pumps. It was called earlier around 3800, 3860 that it is trading at highs, very reasonable. This is the best of the picks probably in these five. The way technically also it is behaving, yes, on a PE basis it's expanded, but look at the numbers per se. 603 crores of sales in December versus 525. Margins have remained robust, and numbers have not declined sharply. That is the best part on margins and other aspects. So in my opinion, this is something to look at on declines and at current levels. In terms of balance sheet, also a debt free kind of a company, and you have reasonable cash flows coming in terms of cash conversion cycle, 165 days, it has come down a bit from December 22 in December 23. And if you look at the shareholding pattern, 66% is with the promoters. FIIs hold a reasonable chunk, 4.5%. It has increased over the last year or so. It has increased from around 3% all the way to something like 4.5%. DII holding has also remained robust, although it has dipped a bit, but pretty decent. Public shareholding is around 18.7%, out of which 3.1% is with the large public shareholders. So around 15.5% public shareholding is there, which is not very big. And overall, the only thing with this stock is that it is slightly illiquid, so the movement is gyration is pretty volatile. So on sharp declines to 3500 or so can definitely be something to be looked at. Around these levels of 3300 to 3500, those will be very decent levels to get into KSB from a shorter term point of view. Third in the list is Shakti Pumps. Decent company, 1334 is the price here. Again, it has not declined a lot from the highs. Again, pumps kind of stocks are doing well, and 2700 crores of market cap. So it's a small cap company, kindly be aware of that. But the stock has done reasonably well in terms of quarterly numbers. In December quarter, they did 496 crores of sales versus 314, which has been a pretty big jump. Operating profit from 22 crores has jumped to 71 crores. Margins from 7% has grown to 14%. Very decent kind of numbers from Shakti Pumps, and that's why the stock has moved up sharply from around 1050 levels all the way. It went to around 1500, 1550, and then is consolidating. Reasonable valuations to now buy into because of the kind of numbers that it is producing. Balance sheet is also strong. In terms of shareholding pattern, there's a concern because FII holding and DII holding is not that great, and there is strong public shareholding in. So that's a drawback in here. So kindly be extremely careful in this. But the numbers per se look extremely strong for Shakti Pumps, and it looks like that it is headed much higher from here. So this is another pick to look at. Fourth in this list is Swaraj Engines. Again, 2800 crores of market cap, a small cap company trading at a PE of 20, which is very reasonable. Swaraj at 2280. In that high zone, the stock is trading at. If you look at it, the stock is around the 200 EMA. It is doing pretty well, and we are looking at a scenario where so it is doing pretty well, and we are looking at a scenario where the stock has declined from the top. So if you look at Swaraj from 2580 in early March, it has declined and now is trying to go up. This stock also looks very decent in terms of quarterly numbers. In December, they did 280 crores of sales versus 280, so it was flat. The numbers have been flat overall, but now these are the 2 quarters in which the company really does well. June and September. Even last year they did extremely well. So I believe that things should pick up as monsoon season pick up, plus strong balance sheet, no debt on the books. Cash conversion cycle is pretty strong at 2 days. And in terms of shareholding pattern, FIIs hold 2.7%. DII have a reasonable stake at 9%, although there is strong public shareholding here as well. But that's how most of the small cap companies are paired up here, around 32% with retail public. The shareholding is so at reasonable valuation. The high has been 2650. The stock is trading at around 2300. So one can definitely look at Swaraj. The fifth and final stock in this list is, of course, Relis India. Now, Relis is around 250. It moved up with the call of Tata Group. All the Tata Group stocks went up, and with huge volumes, it went up on 7th of March with around 3 crore, over 3.7 crore shares were traded then. And normally around 5 lakh, 6 lakh shares are traded. So it went up, it went to nearly 300 rupees and has declined. Since then, it's come to reasonable levels. Relis is something that has not performed over the last 3, 4, 5 years. So it's time for probably for it to do well again. It is kind of a risky bet. In these five stocks, I would say Swaraj, Shakti, and KSB look extremely good apart from Escorts and Relis. So these three, Swaraj, Shakti, and KSB pumps, look the best. But Relis, in terms of the valuations now, is very reasonable at around 250 rupees. But the numbers have not been that impressive. So yes, it has been a growth. 53 crores of operating profit has gone to 62 crores. Margins have increased a bit, but not very sharply. So overall, I believe it's better than say a UPL or a Bharat Rasayan or other kind of companies, say a Sumitomo Chemicals. Relis India is much better, but uh, you should have a gamut of these kind of stocks so that two or three of them go up, and then you can probably bulk up your money there. So that's about the analysis of some of the agri stocks that I like now. Most of them are in the very small cap domain, so kindly do take that on note. So this was a video on the agri theme. Please like and subscribe my channel, hit the bell icon so you can get my videos straight away when I post it, and kindly support me on Patreon. Thanks a lot.